Hi, I'm Lisa Gonzalez, the Executive Director in the Marysville School District of Finance and Operations. In this week's episode of Budget Bytes, I'm going to respond to a question because I know there have been many rumors that are out there, and I know that board members have asked this question and we've shared the answers with them, but we want to make sure that we're sharing it with the rest of you, especially since the questions continue to come up. What staff reductions has the district made in the last 2 years? So again, there are many opinions that are out there, but I'm going to give you the data that comes from our student information and our financial system and our human resources system, and it uploads straight to the state. It's a system that's called Skyward, and I'm going to give you this data as of October 27th of this year. So I want to start with some definitions. First of all, we often use a term FTE. FTE in this conversation is going to be about a full-time equivalent or a full-time staff person. So for example, if you are full-time is 40 hours, and that means you are a 1.0 FTE. If you work 75% of a week, or you have a 30-hour position, you would be a 0.75 FTE. And if you're half-time, you would be a 0.5 FTE. I also want to give some definitions here about which bargaining groups are which. So we have administrators and directors, which are those typically here at our service center. We have MEA, our Marysville Educators Association, and that's teachers, counselors, deans, and other school specialists. We have a group that's called non-represented, exempt, and non-exempt. And they have a lot of our administrative support, analysts, managers, and other types of support positions that are not management. We have PSE, the Classified Public School Employees Group. That's our school and our district secretaries. We have SEIU 10 for our 10-month employees, SEIU 12 for our 12-month employees, and we have MAA, the Marysville Administrators Association, and that is solely principals, assistant principals, and coordinators. This is our staffing over the last 5 years. You can absolutely press pause and you can take a look at this. But for example, if I just pick two groups, let me go ahead and let me start with our administrators at school sites. We've gone from 35 to 30 to 31. So these were our post-COVID years, about the same, dropped down to 29.74. A little strange with the FTEs, but that's how those positions work. Teachers, 700 to 682 to 710. That was our big bump after COVID with a lot of those funds to hire different people, to 667 to 628. Now, we're looking at numbers. And I know these numbers may seem high or they may seem low, but it's hard to look at these numbers without looking at the percentages of the positions that were lost. So for example, if we take that first row here of administrators and directors, if we take the number of people we had in 21-22, and then we look at, and we look at 23-24, this group has lost 17.4% full-time equivalent positions. So roughly 17.4%, we're looking at almost 4, maybe 3.5 full-time positions. And so I just broke it down in a percentage according to each of the groups. So the admin director group lost 17% of its team. The teachers lost 11.6% of their team. The classified, non-representative, non-exempt, and exempt, they've actually gained about 9.3%. A lot of these positions have the essential work in human resources, in the fiscal department, and a handful of others. Our secretarial group, you'll see they lost 3%. SEIU 10 lost 11.8%. SEIU 12 lost 23.6%. And you'll see there on the bottom, our total certificated administrators lost 5.8%. So in the last 2 years, Here's a really important number. In total, we've reduced 132.22 FTEs, full-time equivalents. It could actually be a lot more than 132 people because many of the positions we've eliminated were not full-time. So if you had a 0.5 and a 0.6 and a 0.7, when you add them all up, you're not going to get 3 FTEs or 3 full-time equivalents, but it's still 3 people. The overall percentage of our staff is we've reduced 10.9%, or if we round it, 11% of our staff in the last 2 years. It's a pretty significant reduction in staffing, and I wanted to make sure that this data was clear and was shared. So again, let's summarize. The district has reduced its staff by 11% over the last 2 years. Again, I've rounded that. And we have 132.22 fewer full-time position equivalents than we did 2 school years ago. I hope this information has been helpful. If you've got an idea for a future budget bite, please do go ahead and send it to the email that's there, and we'll see you next week.